What's up, guys? I'm Jarrad from Florida Freedivers, and today I'm here with
Eric, also from Florida Freedivers.
All right, so we're going to talk about good, better, best for dive computers / watches, what they can possibly do to you, and what the different versions or do for you, and what the different versions actually do within their within their respective branding as well. So I'll go ahead and start off with the Oceanic F10.
Yes, this is a classic freediving watch. This thing has been around for centuries, maybe.
I don't know. I remember her. That was one of my first watches ever.
I think the Japanese pearl divers were using these, back when that whole thing started.
Oh, man.
But the F10 is a staple for dive computers. It's probably one of the first widely available dive computers that you could get. Freediving computers, actually, is to be more specific. Yeah, it's a great self-serviceable battery little setup. Yeah.
So the Oceanic F10 can do things like surface intervals, dive times. It does have different audible beeps and audible functions that can notify you when you get down to certain depths, when you spend so much time at the surface. But like Eric said though too, it's really cool because it does have an interchangeable battery that you can do yourself. It's just a slight, twist off the back and then change. You don't have to send it in any service center or anything like that.
There's no other watches that have that capability.
And
no. The ones that do are variations of the F10.
Yeah. And they've been around forever. They're definitely tough, rugged, and last a good amount of time.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I guess is kind of the motto with this guy.
Yeah, definitely not. So that is available here at the shop for $400. That's kind of your entry-level point for a nice dive computer. And something just to touch on real quick with dive computers, one of the most important things in freediving is to have a refresh rate or sample rate at 1 second. You don't want to get into anything that's greater than that because it's not going to be able to keep up with you what your average kind of descent is at a meter per second or ascent for efficiency. So these watches all have that, which is great. But yeah, that range right there is kind of like what your entry level is getting into.
Yeah. And that's really what we're confident in for an entry-level watch. You can definitely find some other watches out there for less money. However, at least in my experience, most of the ones I've used and seen don't quite meet the quality standards that I would want. I've had problems with leaking. I've had problems with refresh rates and that kind of thing. And this is definitely our choice for getting into this, for sure.
Absolutely. Which brings us next to an awesome watch I really like, used for a long time, the Suunto D4F. The D4F is, the F is for freediving. So it's Suunto's line of freediving only capability what they have. They do have different variations, but this is their main staple. It is available at the shop for $450. And this watch pretty much has everything you'll ever need in a freediving computer and a non-smartwatch capability.
Yeah, so the D4F is actually one of the first watches I bought for myself personally. I didn't dive with a watch for a long time. Once I started getting into taking like the level 1 class and eventually into level 2, I realized that a watch is pretty much a necessity for anybody that's serious about the sport. So I chose the D4F when I first bought one because I really liked, the navigation is super simple. It's a 4-button situation here. It's very easy to get through the menus. The watch is very intuitive to run. And I liked the screen as well. The numbers were really big, easy to read. One thing that kind of deterred me away from going with the D4F is I found it a little bit more complicated to navigate, and eventually ended up into the Suunto D4F here.
Yeah. One really nice thing too, because when you're stepping up into the D4F, the audible alarms are definitely more, they're definitely louder. So you can notice these audible alarms more easily than you would in the Oceanic F10. Something else that's nice that I always liked within the watch is you have the ability to find out what time it is in the, just time of day.
Yeah.
So F10 is a little different. You kind of have to cancel out the dive and go back through your freediving mode and return to the different times. But with just a click of the button, you can know a couple of variations like number of dives you've done. You can notice what time of day it is. So there's different things that you can set up within this actual watch to just get, whatever you might want out of, more of a watch that might be only for $50 more. So
yeah,
not that much, but it's definitely a cool looking watch. It has this cool watch band too that really rounds your wrist. It is a nice watch band. And yeah, Suunto D4F, definitely one of my favorite watches for sure.
Mine as well.
Yeah, which brings us to pretty much, I think, one of the most popular watches that is out there on the market today that is kind of like, I would almost say, a freediving watch on steroids.
The Mac Daddy.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So the Garmin Descent. So many people come in asking about the Garmin Descent. This is going to be the top of the line watch that you can get, but for so many reasons. Right off the bat, you can notice, so the green lights in the back are a pulse reading. So you can actively track your pulse rate while you're wearing this the entire time. And of course, the green lights go off right when I do that, but there they go. So this is also a rechargeable battery. So this thing usually stays charged for, I'd say, a good week, 7 to 10 days. In a normal function and dive mode, I think taken dives with it about 4 or 5 days in a row, probably 5 days max. But you can do all kinds of crazy things with this. You can change the logo on the face. You can change many different watch faces. It's compatible with different Android and iPhone apps. One kind of crazy thing that some people don't like, more like charter captains and stuff, but it has the ability to track GPS coordinates. So you find that nice honey hole, you're diving, you want to see exactly where that GPS coordinate is, you can come up, hit a button, and actually lock in that GPS coordinate specific to where your watch is above the water. Really cool function, but it does everything. It's, almost just like an iPhone watch where you get emails, text, every type of notification. You can do runs on it, do breadcrumbs, cycling. I know you're big into cycling and stuff too. You can track all different variations of it.
For sure.
But it's crazy the amount of capability that this Garmin Descent can do. Anything you can touch on that too?
Yeah, I guess I'll just share. Like I said before, the D4F is actually the first watch I ever got for myself. And I ended up upgrading to the Garmin Descent down the line, and actually not that far down the line, maybe a year or so, because I was actually in the market for a smartwatch. I'm an Android user, I know, whatever. All you Apple guys think that it's a lesser life form, but hardcore Android user, so the iWatch or the Apple Watch, whatever you guys call it these days, was not an option for me, and didn't really like a lot of the other options out there. But there were some good ones. And then when I found out that the Garmin was actually compatible as a smartwatch for an Android, it was kind of a no-brainer for me because I was already willing to dish out the cash that it was going to take to get something really nice. And the fact that it also does all my diving and has all that capability, whether it's freediving or scuba. Yes, occasionally I dabble in the dark side of bubble blowing. Very rarely though, very, very rarely.
He's admitting it.
It was a no-brainer, like I said. It is an expensive unit, but for what it's capable of, it's definitely far worth the price tag. Like you had mentioned, I wanted a smartwatch for fitness tracking, for cycling, and I also use it for, I go skiing a lot, snow skiing, and I love all the data, kind of tend to be a little bit of a data hound. So all the information that this watch could offer me, I was just eating it up. And it was, like I said, it's a no-brainer for me to switch to the Garmin.
Yeah. Another cool thing that the Garmin has is where you get audible beeps from the Oceanic F10. You get a little bit louder audible in the Suunto D4F. Well, you also get an audible and a vibrating alarm with the Garmin Descent.
Tactile.
Yeah, so it's really nice to kind of have the best versions of both. And there are different bands that you can actually add on to it too. So if you want to replace the bands, I mean, it's a quick snap, and you can put on different color bands. I know that I think you can order kind of custom brands now and make kind of whatever variation you want to do. But it's definitely got a lot of diversity within a watch. So this watch is also available for Freedivers. It is $9.99 in the shop. But it just has so much more capability and diversity compared to kind of the freedive specific watches of what you could get.
Yeah.
So
it's a pretty incredible unit. It's definitely a game changer for the freedive computer market.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like putting any watch face that you can on it. I see everyone walking up to it and being like kind of curious of like what they're running and like what their actual watch face is, or something, from logos to just different fitness guides to the heart rate on the actual watch.
I like to keep a nice profile picture of myself on there, just so I can always see myself, this rocking hair.
Yeah, with the hair, I mean, you gotta run that profile picture, absolutely, absolutely. So all of this stuff is going to be up on the YouTube. Any questions or comments, definitely throw them up in the section there, and we'll be happy to answer them. If you have another watch you want reviewed, definitely ask us, and we'll be happy to do it. But yeah, so good, better, best in the shop. I mean, these are our 3 choices right here. Feel free to contact us for any type of questions, and we'll be happy to go.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel for sure.
All that jazz.
Cool. Take care, guys.
We'll see you in the next one.